Hi, welcome. My name is Lynn Fox and I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator for 16 years. A little bit about my story. 16 years ago, my darling mum rang me and said, would you like to come up and craft with me at the local hall? Of course, who passes up an opportunity to craft, particularly with their mum? So I trotted up to Hervey Bay, I'm in Gympie, and walked into this hall, and spread out before me were probably, 8 to 10 tables and about 6 to 8 women around each table. No guys at that stage, but there's guys in Stampin' Up now. So I sat down and looked at the table and spread out in front of me. Everything matched. I didn't have to think about what went with this, how I was going to bring that element in and make it, the colour right. Stampin' Up had that covered. So what I want to talk to you about today is the colours in Stampin' Up. We're going to start with our neutrals. So I'll quickly turn you down. Sorry about my hand being in that. Just get you looking. That looks good. All right, let's bring that in a bit more. So as you can see, here's our neutrals. We have cardstock. We have our Stampin' Right markers. We also have our blends. We have our ink pads, and each one has an ink pad to match. Each one has a Stampin' Right marker to match. And in most cases, there's a set of blends. Our blends come in two, so you don't have to think about them. There's a light and there's a dark in each one, so you can blend and create that depth. So if you have a look at our Stampin' Right markers, you can see that there's a thick end. So there's the thick end. And we have a thin end. So each one has that. So we'll start here. On our right, we have Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight. We have Blackberry Bliss, Pecan Pie, Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Grey Granite. We have Smoky Slate, and we have Basic Grey. And as I said, each one has an ink pad. Get a load of this. Our ink pads open like so, flick up, and then they slide in so you can use them. And to undo them, pull that back out and flick it over. And if you find that they're hard to move, get a bit of candle. Get a candle and run a candle along here, and then you get the sliding action a lot easier. But notice the innovation that Stampin' Up has. See how the lid closes and the ink pad is actually remaining upside down inside the holder. That's so that the ink stays on top of the pad here and doesn't drain to the bottom. So a lot of standard ink pads, for example, I'll just pull out one out of the drawer, they have a lid. But what happens if you store them like that, the ink sinks to the bottom of the pad and the top of the pad where you need to stamp is dry. So if you do have anything, whether it's Versamarks or another brand, turn it over, store it upside down so the ink stays on top of the pad. Okay, so this is our first colourway, our neutrals that I wanted to show you. Next week, we will look at our subtles and have a look at the colourways there. Thank you.